You know those last few moments before a big launch? The quiet ones? Well, this is a story all about that. It's about the huge, often invisible effort that goes into what looks like just one simple final fix.
It all starts with this one question, right? You could just feel the mix of hope and, yeah, a little bit of anxiety. Just imagine you're sitting at your desk, months and months of work are just staring back at you from the screen. The project is so close. This is exactly where our story kicks off, in that final, tense countdown.
So, let's set the scene. It's February, it's cold, and this big project is almost done. But here's the catch. Our main character, an engineer, is basically the last one left. They're finishing up all the loose ends in an office that's suddenly gone very, very quiet.
And that's really the heart of it. While this project was winding down, everyone else had already started on the next big thing. The world just kept moving. Think about it. All their teammates, the people they've been working side by side with for months, were gone. It was all down to one person to get this thing over the finish line.
So, what was left? Just one tiny little thing. At least that's what it looked like. One supposedly small task before the big launch. But you know how these things go. That simple request was about to crack open a whole world of complexity that was hiding just under the surface.
And there it is. That's the moment everything changes. A simple request to tweak the user interface, something the user actually sees, suddenly meant they had to change the entire server, the very backbone of the whole system. This is when a senior engineer has to step in, and the tiny fix just explodes in scope.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What even is a simple request? In the world of software, and honestly, in pretty much everything, the things that look the simplest on the outside are often held up by these incredibly complicated systems that we never, ever see.
It's that classic iceberg problem, right? What you, the user, see is just the tiny tip sticking out of the water, a small visual update. But the hidden reality, that massive chunk of ice underneath, is the messy, complicated, fundamental server change that has to happen to make it all work.
Okay, so you're faced with this huge, unexpected problem. What do you do? Well, this next part of the story isn't about some lone genius saving the day. It's about finding the strength to move forward in the work that others have already done.
This is the grind, the late nights, the endless cups of coffee, just staring at the screen trying to make it all make sense. It's about not giving up, not taking the easy path, but really digging in and wrestling with that complicated server problem until you solve it.
And then, the breakthrough. But it didn't come from where you might think. The solution wasn't just in the code they were writing right then, but in the code their colleagues had written months ago. It turns out the foundation their peers had built was so solid, so well made, that it could actually handle this massive last-minute change. All that invisible work from the past became the safety net for the present.
So after all that struggle, the fix is finally in. The code is ready, the moment has arrived. And you know what? The real climax of this story isn't about the tech at all. It's about a quiet, powerful human connection.
That senior engineer, the one who helped guide them through all the chaos, asks that simple question. And the answer is just yes. Of course, yes. That's the real win. It's not just about pushing a button and launching a feature. It's about sharing that quiet moment of success with a mentor, turning what was a lonely struggle into a shared victory.
So all of this leaves us with one final thought. Sure, this story was about a line of code, but it's really about everything. The apps on your phone, the bridges you drive over, the systems that run our world. They are all standing on top of a mountain of invisible work, supported by the careful efforts of people you'll probably never meet. So what unseen foundations are you standing on right now?